In a quiet village cradled by emerald hills, Alara lived a life of gentle routine. Each night, she climbed the hill behind her cottage to gaze at the stars, their silver light stirring a longing deep within her. The village was a haven of warmth, with cobblestone paths and laughter echoing from the market. But it felt small, too small for the dreams that danced in her heart. Alara was no stranger to doubt. It whispered that she was just a weaver's daughter, destined to stay within the village's safe embrace. Yet, as she watched the stars, a faint melody drifted on the breeze, soft as a lullaby, promising something beyond the horizon. It was a call to adventure, to a life brighter than the threads she wove. One night, the melody grew too strong to ignore. Ilara packed a satchel with bread, a cloak, and a lantern, her hands trembling with both fear and excitement. She stepped onto the path leading out of the village, the stars above winking like old friends. The world was vast, and though her heart quaked, she felt the spark of possibility. The melody hummed, urging her forward, and Alara took her first step into the unknown, trusting the light above and within. The path from the village wound through fields of swaying grass, where fireflies blinked like tiny stars. Alara's lantern cast a golden pool around her, but the darkness beyond felt alive, watching. She had never ventured this far alone, and each step tested her resolve. What if she lost her way? What if the melody was just a trick of her hopeful heart? The doubts buzzed like insects, but the melody grew clearer, a thread of sound weaving through the night. She remembered her father's words. The first step is the hardest, but it's also the bravest. Alara tightened her grip on the lantern, its warmth grounding her. The fields gave way to a forest, its trees looming like guardians of secrets. A rustle in the grass made her pause, but it was only a rabbit, its eyes gleaming with curiosity. Alara smiled, feeling the world's pulse beneath her feet. The melody was her guide, and though the path was uncertain, she walked on, each step a quiet victory. The stars seemed to cheer, their light a reminder that even in the dark, she was not alone. The forest, known as the Whispering Woods, was a tapestry of shadows and silver moonlight. Alara's lantern flickered as she stepped beneath the canopy, where ancient trees stretched toward the sky. The melody pulsed here, vibrant yet elusive, like a song half remembered. The woods were alive with whispers not of words, but of feelings, doubts, and hopes. Are you enough? They seemed to ask. Alara's heart wavered. She was no hero, just a girl with a dream. But as she walked, she noticed the tree's roots, gnarled yet strong, supporting each other. She thought of her village, where neighbors helped one another through storms and harvests. Strength wasn't solitary, it was shared. A breeze stirred, carrying the melody, and Alara felt a shift. She touched a tree's bark, its roughness grounding her. "I am enough," she whispered, and the woods seemed to nod. A deer stepped into her path, unafraid, its eyes reflecting her lantern's glow. Alara laughed softly, her fear easing. The melody was clearer now, a companion on this winding path, and she walked deeper into the woods, her courage growing like the roots beneath her. By dawn, Alara reached a river, its waters shimmering like liquid starlight. The melody danced across its surface, urging her to cross, but the current was swift, and no bridge spanned its width. Fear tightened her chest could. She braved the cold, the pull of the water. She sat by the bank, her reflection staring back, a girl both familiar and new. The river was more than an obstacle. It was a mirror, showing her doubts and her strength. Alara thought of past challenges mending a loom under pressure, comforting a friend through grief. Each had shaped her, like water carving stone. She waded in, the cold biting her skin, but she focused on the melody, steady as a heartbeat. Halfway across, the current surged, threatening to sweep her away. She planted her feet, gripping a submerged rock, and pushed forward. On the other bank, soaked but triumphant, Ilara felt alive. The melody swelled, a song of resilience. The stars, still faintly visible, seemed to smile. She had crossed not just a river, but a piece of herself, and the path ahead felt brighter. The path climbed toward a hill cloaked in mist, its crest hidden from view. Alara's legs ached as she ascended, the melody now a rhythm in her steps. At the summit, 3 paths diverged, one lined with flowers, fragrant and inviting, another wide but rocky, promising ease but monotony, and a third, narrow and shadowed, pulsing with mystery. The melody didn't choose for her. It sang in all directions, leaving the decision to her heart. Alara paused, her breath visible in the cool air. The flowered path tempted her with comfort, but she sensed it led back to the village's safety. The rocky path offered stability, but no growth. The shadowed path scared her, yet its darkness held a spark of the unknown. She chose the shadowed path, trusting the melody's call. As she walked, the shadows parted, revealing glowing mushrooms and soft moss. The path was steep, but alive with wonder. Alara realized choices were not just steps, but declarations of who she wanted to be. The stars above twinkled, as if proud, and she walked on, her heart lighter with purpose. The shadow path led to a cave, its mouth dark and cool, the melody echoing within. Ilara's lantern flickered, casting jagged shadows on the walls. As she stepped inside, voices surrounded her, her own doubts, amplified. "You're not enough," they hissed. "Turn back." Her heart pounded, but she remembered the river, the woods, the hill. Each had tested her, and she'd grown. She spoke aloud, "I am enough." The echoes shifted, repeating her words, growing stronger. The cave was no enemy, it was a mirror of her mind, challenging her to rewrite her story. Deeper in, she found crystals glowing with soft light, their warmth calming her fears. She touched one, feeling its energy pulse in time with the melody. The voices faded, replaced by a chorus of encouragement. Alara emerged from the cave, her lantern steadier, her heart lighter. The stars outside shone brighter, reflecting her newfound clarity. She had faced her fears and found her voice, and the melody sang of triumph. Beyond the cave, Alara found a meadow bathed in twilight, its grass soft as a dream. The melody softened, inviting her to rest. She lay down, the stars a canopy above, their light weaving through her thoughts. The journey had been long forest, river, cave, hilland. Her body ached, but her heart was full. She thought of the village, its warmth now a memory rather than a chain. The meadow was a gift, a moment to breathe. Fireflies danced, their glow mirroring her own spark. Alara closed her eyes, letting the melody lull her into a gentle dream. In it, she saw herself not as a weaver's daughter, but as a traveler, bold and free. The stars whispered, "You are becoming." When she woke, the melody was still there, soft but persistent. Alara stood, recharged, ready for the next step. The meadow had taught her that rest was not retreat, but renewal, and the stars above promised more paths to explore. The path climbed again, toward a mountain whose peak pierced the clouds. Alara's breath grew short, her legs heavy, but the melody urged her upward, a steady pulse in her heart. Doubts lingered. Could she reach the summit? But each step reminded her of her journey. The river's challenge, the cave's echoes, the meadow's peace. At the peak, the world unfolded below valleys, rivers, forests, all glowing under the stars. The melody became a symphony, filling her with awe. She saw her journey in the landscape, each obstacle, a river, each triumph, a star. Alara realized the journey wasn't about a destination, but about discovering her light. The stars mirrored her glow, and she felt part of something vast. She vowed to keep climbing, not just mountains, but dreams. The wind carried the melody, and Alara breathed it in, her heart soaring. The view was a reminder. Her light was enough, and the world was hers to explore. The path descended into a valley where the stars seemed to touch the earth. The melody wove through the air, the grass, the shimmering lake, creating a harmony that felt like home. Ilara's heart swelled not because she'd reached the end, but because she'd found herself. The valley was alive with light, its beauty a reflection of her growth. She danced in the starlight, her laughter joining the melody. Doubts that once weighed her down had dissolved, replaced by quiet confidence. The valley wasn't a destination, but a milestone, a place to celebrate how far she'd come. She sat by the lake, its surface mirroring the sky, and saw her own face stronger, braver, brighter. The melody sang of possibility, and Alara sang back, her voice clear. She knew challenges awaited, but she was ready. The stars above were her allies, their light a promise that she could go anywhere, be anything, as long as she trusted her spark. Leaving the valley, Alara found a rickety bridge spanning a chasm, its planks swaying in the wind. The melody pulsed across it, urging her forward, but the drop below was dizzying. Fear gripped her. Could she trust the bridge to hold? She remembered the river, where trust in herself had carried her through. She took a step, the wood creaking, but holding firm. Each step was a leap of faith, not just in the bridge, but in her own resilience. Halfway across, a gust shook the ropes and Alara clutched the sides, her heart racing. But the melody steadied her, a reminder of her strength. She thought of her village, where trust in others had built community. This bridge was no different it held because she believed it could. On the other side, Alara exhaled, her fear replaced by pride. The melody swelled, and the stars above seemed to nod. Trust, she realized, was a bridge she built within herself, and it would carry her far. The path led to a vast field where wildflowers swayed under the stars. The melody echoed here, not from the sky, but from the earth itself, as if the ground held memories. Alara walked, feeling whispers of past travelers, their hopes, fears, triumphs. The field was a place of stories, each flower a voice. She knelt, touching a petal, and felt a surge of connection. She wasn't alone. Others had walked this path, faced their doubts, and kept going. The melody wove their stories into hers, reminding her that courage was timeless. She thought of her own story, leaving the village, crossing the river, choosing the shadowed path. Each moment had added to this field, her light joining countless others. Alara stood, her heart full. The melody was not just hers, but shared, a song of all who dared to dream. The stars above glowed brighter, and she walked on, carrying the field's echoes in her heart, ready for whatever came next. A stone tower rose from the field, its spire piercing the night sky. The melody led Alara inside, where a spiral staircase wound upward. Each step was steep, her lantern casting shadows that danced like doubts. The climb was tiring, but the melody urged her on, promising clarity. At the top, a window revealed the world below fields, rivers, mountains, all bathed in starlight. Alara saw her journey mapped out, each challenge a thread in a tapestry. The tower was a place of insight, showing her how far she'd come. She thought of her doubts, once heavy, now mere shadows. The melody was her guide, but her choices had shaped the path. She realized growth wasn't a straight line, but a spiral, each turn building on the last. The stars outside winked, as if sharing her revelation. Alara descended, her heart lighter, the melody now her own song. The tower had shown her, insight was a gift earned through effort, and she was ready for more. The path led to a lake, its water still and silver under the stars. The melody rippled across its surface, inviting Alara to rest. She sat by the shore, her reflection clear in the calm water. The journey had been long and her body craved peace. The lake was a mirror, not just of her face, but of her heart. She saw the girl who'd left the village, uncertain but hopeful, now stronger, wiser. The melody was soft here, a lullaby of serenity. Alara thought of moments of quiet in her life, sitting with her mother, weaving in silence, finding strength in stillness. The lake taught her that peace was as vital as courage. She dipped her hands in the water, warden, its cool touch soothing. The stars reflected on the surface, a reminder of her light. Alara lay back, letting the melody wash over her. Sleep came gently, and she dreamed of stars, waking renewed. The lake had given her calm, and she walked on, ready for the next step. The path plunged into a forest of dense shadows, where the melody seemed faint, almost lost. Alara's lantern barely pierced the darkness, and the air felt heavy with doubt. The trees whispered fierce failure, loneliness, weakness. Alara's heart raced, but she remembered the cave, where her voice had changed the echoes. She sang the melody aloud, her voice shaky but growing stronger. The shadows retreated, revealing a path lined with glowing vines. The forest wasn't her enemy, it was a test of faith. She thought of her village, where doubt had kept her small, and how each step had proven it wrong. A wolf appeared, its eyes gleaming, but it didn't attack, it watched, then vanished. Alara realized the forest shadows were her own, and by facing them, she grew brighter. The melody returned, clear and strong, guiding her out. The stars above shone like beacons, and Alara emerged, her light stronger than ever, ready for the journey ahead. A cliff loomed ahead, its edge sharp against the starry sky. The melody led across a narrow ledge, the drop below vast and dark. Alara's knees trembled. Could she make it? She thought of the bridge, where trust had carried her. Courage wasn't fearlessness, but action despite fear. She pressed against the cliff, her fingers gripping the stone, the melody steadying her breath. Each step was deliberate, her heart pounding but focused. A loose rock fell, clattering into the abyss, and Alara froze. But the melody sang on, and she moved forward one hand at a time. On the other side, she collapsed, breathless but alive. The stars above blazed, mirroring her triumph. The cliff had tested her courage, and she'd won. The melody swelled, a song of bravery, and Alara stood, her fear transformed into strength. The path ahead was clearer, and she knew. Every challenge made her light shine brighter. Beyond the cliff lay a garden, its flowers glowing under the stars. The melody wove through petals of every color, a symphony of dreams. Ilara walked among them, each flower whispering a hope adventure, love, purpose. She knelt, breathing in their scent, and felt her own dreams stir. The garden was a reminder of why she'd left the villages to chase the melody of her heart. She thought of her childhood, weaving stories into cloth, dreaming of more. The garden's beauty was overwhelming, yet it felt like home. A butterfly landed on her hand, its wings a mosaic of light. Alara smiled, feeling her dreams take shape. The melody was her own now, a song of possibility. She picked a flower, tucking it into her hair, a symbol of her growing vision. The stars above sang, and Alara walked on, her heart a garden of dreams, ready to bloom with every step. The path led to ancient ruins, crumbling stones covered in moss. The melody echoed through the arches, a song of endurance. Alara explored, her fingers tracing carvings of forgotten travelers. The ruins spoke of time of dreams that lasted, of lives that mattered. She felt small, yet connected, part of a story stretching beyond her own. A broken statue lay in the grass, its face serene despite the years. Ilara sat beside it, thinking of her village's elders, their stories of resilience. The ruins taught her that time didn't erase courage, it preserved it. The melody grew soft, respectful, as if honoring the past. Alara felt a kinship with those who'd walked before, their strength in her blood. She stood, her lantern bright, ready to add her story to the ruins' legacy. The stars above glowed, timeless, and Alara walked on, her heart a bridge between past and future. The path dipped into a canyon, its walls towering and silent. The melody was faint here, almost drowned by the quiet. Alara felt alone, the silence heavy with questions. Who was she without the melody's guidance? She walked, her footsteps echoing, and realized the silence was a space for her own voice. She thought of quiet moments in the village when she'd found answers within. The canyon wasn't empty, it was full of her thoughts. She whispered her dreams aloud, and the walls echoed them back, stronger. The melody returned, soft but clear, blending with her voice. A hawk soared above, its cry breaking the silence, and Alara smiled. The canyon taught her that silence was a canvas for her light. She emerged, the melody vibrant, her heart full. The stars above shone, and she knew her voice was enough and the path was hers to shape. The canyon opened to plains stretching endlessly under the stars. The melody danced across the grass, a song of wonder. Alara ran, her cloak billowing, the air alive with possibility. The plains were vast, like her dreams, and every step felt like flying. She thought of her village, where the world had seemed small, and marveled at how far she'd come. A herd of horses galloped nearby, their hooves a rhythm matching the melody. Ilara laughed, her heart soaring. The plains were a celebration of freedom, of the joy in exploration. She lay in the grass, staring at the stars, each one a dream within reach. The melody was a chorus now, singing of wonder. Alara stood, ready for more, her light a beacon in the vastness. The stars above twinkled, and she walked on, her heart a plain of endless possibility. The path circled back toward a village, not hers, but one aglow with lanterns. The melody was warm here, woven into the laughter of children and the clink of mugs. Alara entered, welcomed by smiles. The villagers shared stories of their journeys, each one a thread of light. She told her own, her voice steady, and felt a bond. The village was a mirror of her growth, a place of community, not confinement. She thought of her own village, now a memory of love, not limitation. A woman offered her bread, its warmth like the melody. Alara realized light wasn't solitary, it grew brighter when shared. She slept in a cozy inn, the melody a lullaby. In her dreams, She saw her village, glowing like this one. She woke, the stars bright, and walked on, carrying the village's light in her heart, ready to shine it forward. The path wound through hills, the melody a gentle hum. Alara felt tired but alive, each step a renewal. The hills were soft, their slopes dotted with flowers, and she thought of her journey's cycle sephir, rest, growth. She sat on a hilltop, watching the stars emerge, and felt the melody renew her spirit. She remembered her mother's words, "Rest is strength waiting to bloom." The path wasn't a race, but a rhythm. A breeze carried the scent of lavender, soothing her. Alara closed her eyes, letting the melody wash over her. In her mind, she saw herself stronger, brighter, ready for more. The stars above sang of renewal, and she stood, her heart full. The path ahead was long, but she was ready, her light refreshed. The melody pulsed, and Alara walked on, each step a new beginning, the stars her guide. A grove of ancient trees awaited, their branches heavy with wisdom. The melody wove through the leaves, a song of knowledge. Ilara walked slowly, feeling the grove's quiet power. Each tree seemed to whisper lessons of patience, resilience, growth. She touched a trunk, its bark warm, and thought of her grandmother's stories, rich with insight. The grove was a library of life, its wisdom earned through time. A squirrel chattered, dropping an acorn, and Alara smiled, picking it up. It was small, like her, but held a forest within. The melody sang of growth, and she realized wisdom was her journey's fruit. She sat beneath a tree, the stars filtering through the leaves, and felt wise, not old, but alive. The grove lessons were hers now, and she walked on, her heart a grove of growing wisdom, the stars her teachers. A stream bubbled across the path, its waters clear and swift. The melody danced in its ripples, a song of balance. Alara knelt, splashing her face, the coolness grounding her. The stream was a lesson too much force drowned, too little dried up. She thought of her life, balancing dreams with duty, courage with rest. She waded across, the current gentle but firm, like the melody. On the other side, she sat, watching the stars reflect in the water. Balance wasn't perfection, but harmony. She remembered village festivals where laughter and work met. The stream taught her to flow, not force. A fish leapt, catching the starlight, and Alara laughed. The melody was her balance, guiding her steps. She stood, her heart steady, and walked on. The stars above a mirror of her harmony, the path a dance of balance. The path climbed a ridge, its edge sharp against the sky. The melody was strong, urging Alara upward. The wind howled, testing her, but she leaned into it, her cloak flapping. Resilience, she realized, was not unbroken strength, but rising after falls. She thought of a time she'd failed at a weave, then tried again, succeeding. The ridge was steep, but each step proved her strength. A gust nearly pushed her back, but she gripped a rock, the melody her anchor. At the top, the view was vast hills, valleys, stars. Alara stood tall, her heart pounding with triumph. The melody sang of resilience, and she felt it in her bones. The stars above glowed, proud, and she walked on, her light unyielding, the ridge a testament to her enduring spirit. The path led to an oasis, a pool surrounded by palms, the melody a soothing hum. Alara knelt by the water, its calm reflecting the stars. The journey had been long, and peace felt like a gift. She thought of quiet evenings in the village, moments of stillness amid chaos. The oasis was a sanctuary, teaching her that peace was strength's foundation. She drank, the water cool and sweet, and felt her heart settle. A bird sang, its notes blending with the melody, and Alara smiled. She lay back, the stars a blanket, and let the melody lull her. In her dreams, she saw herself at peace, strong yet calm. She woke, the melody soft, and stood, ready for more. The oasis had restored her, and she walked on, her light serene, the stars her peaceful guide. The path stretched into a desert, its sands endless under the stars. The melody was faint, testing Alara's patience. Each step sank, the heat lingering even at night. She felt time slow, doubts creeping would the path ever end. She remembered her father's patience, teaching her to weave slowly, perfectly. The desert was a lesson in waiting, in trusting the journey. She walked, the melody guiding her, faint but true. A cactus bloomed, its flower a star in the sand, and Alara smiled. Patience was her strength, blooming in time. The melody grew clearer, and she saw an end to the sand. The stars above shone, patient, and she walked on, her heart steady, the desert a canvas for her enduring light. A valley burst with color, flowers, and streams under the stars. The melody was a joyful dance, and Alara ran, her heart light. The valley was a celebration of her journey, each flower a moment of triumph. She thought of village dances where joy bound hearts. She spun among the flowers, the melody her partner, laughing freely. A rabbit hopped near, unafraid, and Alara felt pure joy. The valley taught her that happiness was a choice, a spark within. She lay in the grass, the stars bright, and let joy fill her. The melody sang of delight, and she sang back, her voice clear. She stood, ready for more, her light a flame of joy. The stars above danced, and she walked on, the valley's joy in her heart, the path alive with happiness. A mountain loomed, its peak hidden in clouds. The melody urged Alara upward, a song of faith. The climb was steep, her breath short, but she trusted the path. Faith, she realized, was belief in the unseen her dreams, her strength. She thought of her mother's faith in her, pushing her to leave the village. Each step was a prayer, the melody her guide. A storm brewed, rain lashing, but Alara climbed, her lantern steady. At the peak, the clouds parted, revealing stars. The melody was a hymn, and Alara's heart sang. Faith had carried her through doubt and storm. The stars above shone, faithful, and she walked on, her light a beacon of belief, the mountain a testament to her trust. A forest of tall pines greeted Alara, the melody a hopeful tune. The trees stood strong, their needles soft underfoot. Hope, she felt, was the root of her journey. She thought of her village, where hope had sparked her dream. The forest was alive with it, each tree a dream standing tall. A bird's nest held eggs, fragile yet full of life, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of hope, and she felt it grow. She walked, her heart light, the path clear. The forest taught her that hope was her fuel, driving her forward. The stars above twinkled, hopeful, and she walked on, her light a flame of possibility, the forest a haven of dreams. A cliff rose sharply, its edge a challenge. The melody was strong, a call to determination. Alara climbed, her hands steady, her heart set. Determination was her fire, burning through doubt. She thought of her first weave, imperfect but finished through effort. The cliff was steep, but she pressed on, the melody her strength. A rock slipped, but she caught herself, unwavering. At the top, the stars blazed, and Alara stood tall, her heart fierce. The melody sang of resolve, and she felt it in her soul. The cliff was her proof she could do anything. The stars above shone proud, and she walked on, her light a blaze of determination, the path hers to conquer. A meadow spread wide, its grasses swaying under the stars. The melody was a song of gratitude, and Alara knelt, thankful. The journey had given her strength, wisdom, joy. She thought of her village, grateful for its love, its push. The meadow was a gift, each blade a blessing. A firefly landed on her hand, its glow a thank you. Alara smiled, her heart full. The melody sang of thanks, and she whispered her own. She lay back, the stars a canopy of gifts, and felt peace. The meadow taught her gratitude was light's source. She stood, ready for more, her light glowing with thanks. The stars above shone, grateful, and she walked on, the meadow's lesson in her heart, the path a gift. A river flowed, wide and deep, the melody rippling across. Alara stood, trusting its flow. The water was swift, but she waded in, the melody her guide. Trust, she knew, was her bridge. She thought of her friends, trusting her to return. The river pushed, but she stood firm, her heart steady. On the other side, she laughed, soaked but strong. The melody sang of trust, and she felt it in her bones. The stars above shone, trusting, and she walked on, her light a beacon of faith, the river a lesson in belief. The path ahead glowed, and Alara trusted it, her heart a river of strength, the melody her guide. A hill rose gently, its crest aglow with starlight. The melody was a vision, guiding Alara upward. The climb was easy, her heart light with dreams. At the top, the world spread out valleys, rivers, stars. She saw her journey, each step a vision of growth. She thought of her dreams, once small, now vast. The hill was a lens, showing her potential. The melody sang of possibility, and Alara's heart soared. She stood, the stars, her mirror, and felt her light grow. The hill taught her to see beyond. She walked on, her vision clear, the stars above shining, the path a canvas of dreams. A cave loomed, its darkness deep, the melody echoing within. Alara entered, her lantern bright. Voices whispered truth, her fears, her strengths. She spoke, "I am enough," and the cave echoed back, strong. The truth was her ally, not her foe. Crystals glowed, their light her truth. She thought of her village, where truth had set her free. The melody was a song of honesty, and she sang along, her voice clear. She emerged, her heart true, the stars above bright. The cave taught her truth was her light. She walked on, her light honest, the path a mirror of her soul, the melody her truth. Vast plains stretched under the stars, the melody a song of freedom. Alara ran, her heart unbound. The plains were her canvas, her steps a dance. She thought of her village where freedom was a dream. The melody sang of liberty, and she felt it in her soul. A horse galloped near, free and wild, and Alara laughed. The plains taught her freedom was hers to claim. She lay in the grass, the stars her roof, and felt free. The melody was her song, and she sang, her voice soaring. She stood, ready for more, her light a flame of freedom. The stars above shone free, and she walked on, the plains her heart, the path her dance. A village glowed with unity, the melody a chorus of hearts. Alara entered, welcomed by warmth. The villagers shared food, stories, light. She told her tale, her voice one with theirs. Unity, she learned, was strength shared. She thought of her village united in love. The melody sang of togetherness, and Alara's heart joined in. A child hugged her, and she smiled, feeling home. The village taught her light grew in unity. She slept, the melody a lullaby, and dreamed of unity. She woke, the stars bright, and walked on. Her light shared, the village her heart, the path a bond. The path wound with purpose, the melody a call to meaning. Alara walked, her heart set. Purpose was her fire, guiding her steps. She thought of her village, where purpose was love. The path was clear, each step a mission. A bird flew above, purposeful, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of meaning, and she felt it in her soul. She sat, the stars, her guide, and saw her purpose growth, light, love. The path taught her purpose was her light. She stood, ready for more, her heart a flame of meaning. The stars above shone, purposeful, and she walked on, the path, her mission, the melody, her call. A grove of willows swayed, the melody a serene hum. Alara sat, the peace soothing. Serenity was her strength, calming her heart. She thought of quiet nights, weaving in peace. The grove was a haven, its branches a hug. A deer drank nearby, serene, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of calm, and she felt it in her bones. She lay back, the stars a blanket, and let serenity fill her. The grove taught her peace was power. She stood, her light calm, and walked on, the stars above serene, the path a haven of tranquility, the melody her peace. A stream rushed, the melody a courageous roar. Alara waded in, her heart bold. Courage was her shield, pushing her through. She thought of her first step, brave and small. The stream was swift, but she stood, the melody her strength. On the other side, she laughed, her light bold. The melody sang of bravery, and she felt it in her heart. The stars above shone, courageous, and she walked on, her light a shield, the stream a test of courage, the path her victory. A ridge rose, the melody a hopeful song. Alara climbed, her heart light. Hope was her fuel, lifting her steps. She thought of her dreams, hopeful and bright. The ridge was high, but she climbed, the melody her guide. At the top, the stars glowed, hopeful, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of possibility, and she felt it in her soul. The ridge taught her hope was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of hope, the stars above bright, the path a dream. An oasis sparkled, the melody a joyful tune. Alara drank, the water sweet. Joy was her spark, igniting her heart. She thought of laughter, shared in her village. The oasis was a gift, its palms dancing. A bird sang, joyful, and Alara laughed. The melody sang of happiness, and she felt it in her bones. She lay back, the stars bright, and let joy fill her. The oasis taught her joy was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of happiness, the stars above joyful, the path a dance. The desert stretched, the melody a faithful hum. Alara walked, her heart trusting. Faith was her guide through sand and heat. She thought of her mother, faithful in her. The desert was vast, but the melody was clear. A flower bloomed, faithful, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of belief, and she felt it in her soul. The desert taught her faith was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of trust, the stars above faithful, the path a prayer. A valley glowed with wisdom, the melody a wise song. Alara sat, the air rich with knowledge. Wisdom was her treasure, earned through steps. She thought of her grandmother, wise and kind. The valley was a school, its flowers lessons. A butterfly landed, wise, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of insight, and she felt it in her heart. The valley taught her wisdom was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of knowledge, the stars above wise, the path a lesson. A mountain rose, the melody a truthful call. Ilara climbed, her heart honest, truth was her compass, guiding her steps. She thought of her village, where truth freed her. The mountain was steep, but she climbed, the melody her guide. At the peak, the stars shone, true, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of honesty, and she felt it in her soul. The mountain taught her truth was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of honesty, the stars above true, the path a mirror. The plain stretched, the melody a serene hum. Alara ran, her heart calm. Serenity was her strength, soothing her soul. She thought of quiet nights, peaceful and clear. The plains were a haven, their grass soft. A horse galloped, serene, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of peace, and she felt it in her bones. The plains taught her serenity was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of calm, the stars above serene, the path a haven. A village glowed with dreams, the melody a hopeful song. Alara entered, welcomed by dreamers. They shared visions, their light like hers. She told her story, her voice a dream. Dreams, she learned, were shared light. She thought of her village, dreaming for her. The melody sang of possibility, and Alara's heart soared. A child dreamed aloud, and she smiled, feeling home. The village taught her dreams were her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of vision, the stars above dreamy, the path a hope. The path glowed, the melody a song of light. Alara walked, her heart bright. Light was her essence, shining through doubt. She thought of her lantern, guiding her way. The path was clear, each step aglow. A firefly danced, bright, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of radiance, and she felt it in her soul. The path taught her light was her truth. She walked on, her heart a flame of brilliance, the stars above bright, the path her shine. A grove of oaks stood tall, the melody a courageous roar. Alara sat, her heart bold. Courage was her shield, pushing her on. She thought of her first step, brave and true. The grove was strong, its branches a hug. A wolf watched, bold, and Alara smiled. The melody sang of bravery, and she felt it in her heart. The grove taught her courage was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of boldness, the stars above brave, the path her strength. A stream sparkled, the melody a joyful dance. Alara waited, her heart light. Joy was her spark, igniting her steps. She thought of laughter shared in love. The stream was bright, its ripples a song. A fish leapt, joyful, and Alara laughed. The melody sang of happiness, and she felt it in her soul. The stream taught her joy was her light. She walked on, her heart a flame of delight, the stars above joyful, the path a dance. The path led to dawn, the stars fading, the melody yours. Alara stood, her heart full. You are the journey, the light, the song. She thought of you, dreaming under stars. The dawn was new, each ray a dream. The melody sang of you, and Elara smiled. The path taught her you are enough. She walked on, her heart a flame of you, the dawn your light, the melody your song. Sleep now, dreamer, your light shines bright, the stars above yours, the path your heart.